Okay, so to talk about health and the biotechnologies, what's really important here is to understand the medically unexplained symptoms. That, when we use the BioWall, we use biopulsar, when we measure the biofield, the bioenergy, then when people have issues there, then first thing that they're going to experience is medically unexplained symptoms, which is I can't sleep at night, I don't have energy during the day, I can't focus. So many people have these issues. So now what our goal is at Health Then is to be able to understand what is the level of the influence of the chronic low level inflammation in the bodies. Is it just like, is it acute? Is it chronic? Like how far has it gone? And then how can we actually reverse it for them? So we have three technologies that will assess the level of low level chronic inflammation in the body. The first one is the PPG. The PPG has two sensors that will connect to our fingertips, and then it will measure the autonomic nervous system in 5 minutes. So they sit there quiet, they put the sensors on, they put their hand, they breathe normally, and it measures, and then it will come and it will give us exactly of like what is the level of if they have any low level chronic inflammation or if they have any rumination that's happening in their brain, and then it gives us a full information of their levels of the autonomic nervous system, their HRV. So then that is the initiation points. If we see there's any markers in the markers of the PPG that there is low-level chronic inflammation, then we want to go deeper to see, okay, how far has this actually manifested? So then what we do is that we use the BIA. The BIA is a body composition analysis system. So this is kind
What
of,
is this called?
it's called the BIA ACC.
Okay.
So what the BIA does is almost like a blood draw. If you go to a medical doctor, they do a blood draw, they send it to a lab, and then they have to wait for the information to come back to now take a look at like your potassium level, your C protein levels. What the BIA does is a revolutionary way of taking a look at the entire system without taking a blood draw.
All
And
right.
it's the only system in the world that can give us this level of information. There is other body composition devices on the market. None of them gives us information about the intracellular water and extracellular water, which then in turn gives us the percentage of actual inflammation in the body.
Hmm.
And it will give us information about bone density of the person,
How
their
do you check
muscle.
all of that?
So these four sensors, the electrodes that are here,
Right.
two of them connect to the wrist, two of them connect to the foot. The person lays down on a bed, and under 6 seconds, that will give you all of that information. There's C protein levels, their potassium levels, all the information you need to know about the person, you can pick it up with the BIA. So then that way, this will give us a percentage of inflammation in the body,
Mm-hmm.
and it will also give us the level of dysautonomia of what is like how far with the information that is picking up from the composition of the body, that how long has this inflammation been going on in the body? Is it under 6 months or is it over 6 months?
Now, is this device connected to a software, to the computer?
So all of
How?
these five devices here, they're connected to one software. So you
Okay.
can use them individually, but as you combine them together, then all the technologies through the software, they communicate with each other and they will give you actually automated protocols sometimes to run like these systems. And then when you combine the PPG with the BIA, then that will actually give you different reports to create clinical nutrition for the person. Because now you're seeing all of their body composition, all of the information in their bodies. You're looking at with the PPG, their autonomic nervous system. You can look at the levels of cortisol and all that, and then it creates a customized nutrition diet plan for that person.
Okay.
But you need to have the PPG and the BIA together in order for it to be able to give you that report.
So the first one and the third one is the BIA and the PPG.
BIA assesses the full information on the autonomic nervous system, including the HRV. The BIA is going to give us full body composition analysis of all the different elements in the body and the level. And then the HEG is the next system that this is a sensor, it's a laser that connects to we put it on the brain, and then we put a strap, it's like a headband. We put over it so it holds it in place.
Okay.
And then what it does is that it actually measures the level of flow of blood in the prefrontal cortex. So if somebody has low level chronic inflammation that's acute, hasn't really dysregulated their system, they still have good blood flow in the prefrontal cortex. But as the inflammation gets really bad and it starts to really become, severe in the system, become chronic, then the blood flow stops to the prefrontal cortex because now the person is constantly in a fight and flight, and blood is only staying in the back of the brain. So that's what leads into memory loss, into amnesia, into like all these different types of issues that people have.
Mm-hmm.
Because once we don't have blood flow coming here, then short-term memory starts to shut down. Okay.
Okay.
So then this measures and also gives us different video games that with the sensor connected, they look at the monitor and there are practices that they'll do to actually activate them. So it's a neurophysiology system that will help them to give them like neuroactivity to bring more blood flow to the prefrontal cortex.
So
Okay.
how does that do?
So it's just with practice. There is a video game, for example, of a person standing on the bottom of a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And with the way that you're activating your brain, like sometimes we give them homeworks of doing there's a Stroop test that we can give them like different things on the phone that they're doing to activate their brain. And then they can see how that's going up. For the person that's standing at the bottom of a mountain, we give them different like multiplication, different processes that they can start thinking with their brain to activate it, and then the person starts to go up the mountain. If they lose their focus, then the person will drop down. So,
Okay.
and all of these can be connected to an at-home app. We have a monitor. It's called an ANS control. It's a system that connects to the fingertip. It's a remote monitor that now we can give this to the person that goes home, and then all of these different works, different games and activations, we can send them to their mobile app and they can do these when they're at home. So that's how we can create a coaching business from this whole thing. So to kind of like summarize, 3 different systems to measure and be able to assess the levels of low-level chronic inflammation in the body: PPG to look at the autonomic nervous system, BIA to look at the body composition, and then the HEG to be able to measure the prefrontal cortex. Okay.
Okay.
So then once we measure these, how do we fix them? That's where the Regmatex comes in and the Datomics. The Regmatex is an electrodermal biofeedback system. It has these sensors, 2 of them connect to the wrist, 2 of them connect to the earlobes. And then the Regmatex has a full library of all the systems that the BioWell and the BioPulsar are going to like show us that these are some misinformations in the field. So then we can go to Regmatex and pick out exactly like liver, kidney, thyroid, all these different systems. And these are like 30-minute sessions that we can do like 4, 5, 6, create a cocktail, connect them for 30 minutes. They go through it. And we usually connect the Regmatex and the PPG together. So with the PPG, they're getting a respiratory biofeedback. There's a screen that comes up, shows them like inhale, hold, exhale. So with that, we're regulating their autonomic nervous system to put him into a parasympathetic mode. And then the Regmatex starts to send the frequencies in to help the system to balance itself out. So there is a clinical research on this that's published on PubMed. If you go to PubMed and just do a search for Regmatex, this is what we have it in the clinics and in the centers, that this is how we sell packages for these systems. So this is a test that was done for clinical validation of non-invasive electrodermal biofeedback device useful for reducing chronic perceived pain and systematic inflammation. So
But
this,
you're also giving them something to go back, and they are doing it at home every day. So
yes.
how will then they buy from you if they're just buying it and doing it themselves at home?
So the system, the monitors that they work with your software. Your software is a coaching software. When you give them homeworks that, okay, like I want you to do respiratory biofeedback 3 times a day, and you add it to their app, and then it becomes like, this is like an app I have for myself. See, I can put in like, these are different homeworks that shows up for me on a daily basis. I click on them, I activate them, and then I have the sensor. I connect the sensor and it gives me different like respiratory, like breathe, inhale, hold, exhale. It's like different respiratory biofeedback that I have assigned to myself based on the information of the way that I'm breathing. So I have the practitioner software and then I have my own customer version. So then when I do this, the information from the sensor will go to my practitioner software. And then me as a practitioner, I'll study myself and then I can adjust the therapy that shows up onto the at-home device. So we're always monitoring them to see what works and then we're changing it. It's not always the same thing. that's showing up on their system. One time, the respiratory biofeedback could be a 5-2-5, like inhale 5 seconds, hold 2 seconds, exhale 5. But then once we study them, we want to see, is that actually working for them or not? If it doesn't, then we change it to, like, let's say a 4-7-2. And then they practice that. And then we understand, we take a look at their information to see, is it resetting the autonomic nervous system or not? Until we can find the perfect breath work for that person. Then they start to continue doing that. And then they have activation homework. So we can assign a personal trainer into their app that will come up and give them exercises in the mornings. But we only want them to, for example, to do that like between like 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. So that, like, if they have extra cortisol in their system, if they're stressed out in the mornings, by doing high interval activities, they burn that cortisol. So then we can regulate their cortisol production in their system. So then when they come in, we show them this. This is a $2 million case study that was done with the Regmatex and the PPG. So this one was it included 20 different medical centers with over 2,000 people. And what they did was that all subjects received 6 30-minute sessions of electrodermal biofeedback twice a week over 3 weeks. So 3 weeks, 2 sessions per week, 30 minutes each. And the result was that when you see here, the perceived pain in the treatment group was significantly lessened in the NRS scale, while circulating CRP concentrations were also decreased. So they had a 99.5% efficacy. That means 99.5% of the people that did this test, this is the conclusion. The Regmatex electrodermal biofeedback procedure is a non-invasive and easy-to-use therapeutic method free of side effects, with high patient accessibility, excellent efficacy, and duration of effect, and hence a valuable tool in the treatment of chronic pain and inflammation. So now this is how we sell packages for the biotech devices. So, they can get one session. It's going to help them to, feel more calm or relaxed. But to really see results, they need to at least have 6 sessions. And that's how we do 6 sessions at a time. It's $250 per session. And then we sell a session of 6. And we usually give them a discount for 1 session when they buy the 6 sessions. So it's about like a $1,500 package per customer to go through this model. And, we're doing this right now. We're seeing powerful results. And, this is $2 million case study that proves that. So this is like the golden ticket, that with this, when we introduce it to people, then you can easily create a beautiful workflow for your practice with that. Okay, so now if we go back for the last device, which is Datomics, Datomics is an all-in-one system. So Datomics has sensors that connects to the head. It has sensors that connects to the neck. It connects to the torso. There's 2 sensors connects to the hands and 2 sensors that connects to the feet. And now what this does is that is an all-in-one system. It's automated. You connect the person, you put it on Datomics. It automatically sends signals in. It sends pulses of 10 hertz into the body, and then it releases. If it feels any blockages are there, it already knows all the bioimpedance information of all the different systems and organs in the body after 44 million assessment points that they've done and all of the clinical research that they've done. So then this will measure different systems to see what is their total bioimpedance charge, and then it starts to correct them. So they sit there, it's a 30-minute session, and it goes and kind of like corrects their entire system. So very, very advanced technology, very, very powerful science.
And how does it correct it? Like, how does it know and how does it do the correction?
So the Datomics is more for people that have, let's say for physiotherapy, for people that have like concussions, for people that have like structural damage, that there is some blockages that's been created that energy can't move through. The Datomics keeps on sending with like 10 hertz frequencies. It keeps on hitting it until it can open it. So it just keeps on checking and then hitting. As soon as it opens, it rechecks, and then it doesn't start overactivating the system. So it's a very low level way of treating the entire body at the same time.
Okay, so that's the 5th one.
Yeah, that's the 5th one. So that pretty much completes the whole circle. The 3 devices to assess are the PPG, or the BIA, or the HEG, and then the 2 devices to actually work on the person to help them, bring their system back into that balanced form is the Regmatex and the Datomics.